Hi, I'm Alexa, and today we are planting garlic. Today's October 9th of 2022, and we're getting started on planting our garlic for the 2023 harvest. So you want to plant your garlic in the fall, especially if you live in a northern climate like I do in Northeast Ohio. Got my son Lucas back there helping to prepare the spacing for the garlic. We have taken some bone meal and sprinkled it on top of each of the rows, so he's over there digging that in before we start planting. Bone meal is a good fertilizer for your garlic. It's going to slow release nutrients into the bulbs all winter long. It's just going to help with that maximum yield of a nice big head of garlic. Today I'm going to attempt to plant 613 cloves of garlic, which I have retrieved from 103 bulbs. This year's garlic harvest, we had just under 300 bulbs of garlic that I've harvested, and I went ahead and separated those. We've saved half for ourselves, and then the other half is going back into the garden, so that way we can double our garlic harvest in 2023. And I've been doing this for a couple years. The garlic that we harvest, we save half, and then that half goes back into the garden. And every year we're doing that, we are able to double how much garlic we are growing and using and keeping for ourselves. Ideally, in a couple years, we are just gonna be overrun with garlic and never really have to buy it again, and be able to start sharing with friends and family too, because we use a lot of garlic in our household, and I would love to not have to buy it. This space behind me is about 15 by 18, and I've got 7 12-foot rows. And when you're planting garlic, they want to be about 6 inches. The rows need to be about 6 inches apart, and the space in between the cloves is about 4 inches. So I measured on my spoon here. This is 4 inches, so as we're going down, creating our holes and planting, we can kind of space it out easily. But I kind of do have a limited space on how much. I don't know that I will get all 600 cloves planted in this space. So I'm thinking I might do them a little bit closer together. It's just that risk is if you're doing them close together, the garlic bulbs may not grow as big. I'm going back and forth on how I'm gonna actually put everything in. Overall, I know we'll get garlic. Last year, I planted my garlic really close together. I still got a good harvest, and some really big ones too. So I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. I do have a little bit of space to maybe go further than 12 feet in this area. And the thing with gardening is sometimes it's all just a learning experiment, and what can you do? An important tool that we're gonna use today is called a dibber, and this is going to help me make a hole in the soil and to be able to plant my garlic clove down. Here's one of my garlic cloves, and it has a pointy end and a flat end. And the flat end goes in the ground, so it kind of has a little nub. That's where the root system's gonna come out of. And the pointy end goes upwards. And I'm gonna take this dibber, and it's gonna go into the soil about 2 inches. So that's about right here where you can kind of see this demarcation line of old soil from other plantings I've done. But I'm gonna go about that far deep into the soil, and then this garlic clove is gonna go in pointy side up. So it'll be about that far deep underneath the soil, just like that. And then we're gonna cover it up, and then I'm gonna forget about it for a while. Garlic will stay in the ground just fine all winter long, and we get lots of snow here. We get below 0 temperatures. We get, up to 3 feet of accumulation of snow. This will be covered in snow, and it will be fine. It will live. In the springtime, it will re-emerge with beautiful green garlic leaves. It'll start growing, and then it's gonna keep growing and be ready for harvest in July. Around July 4th, Independence Day is usually when the garlic is ready, maybe a couple weeks after, depending on when you do it. For my 2022 harvest, I planted the garlic on Halloween of 2021, and so this year it was ready for harvest about the 3rd week of July. I'm a little bit earlier this year. I wanted to get it done. I have a lot of garlic, and I didn't want to wait till the last minute, so Carmen and I worked to get this space prepared yesterday, and today is a beautiful day. It's nice weather, and I want to get it in because we've been having more rainy days than nice warm sunny days. So today is garlic day, and let's go ahead and get started. So it looks like Lucas has found a old pool stick that he's going to use as his dibber, so we can get this done in double time. There you go, buddy. Okay, so we've gotten all of the soil already prepared. This was a big mulch pile, and we dug out the mulch on the rows that we were planting on. So that way this is nice and loose. You don't want to have anything compact because garlic is a root crop, so it needs to grow on the ground. You don't want anything too compact. And so I'm going to take this dibber and I'm just going to make a hole 2 inches deep. Good. And the garlic goes in just like that. So, and this is the soil line. What I like to do when I'm planting is I like to get all the garlic in the ground first before I cover it. That way I can see them, figure out spacing, and make sure that we are doing a good job. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my spoon here, I'm gonna line it up right there. I'm gonna make the next hole at the end of the spoon, just like that. And I'm gonna put the next clove in, pointy side up. And so we're just gonna keep doing that like all the way down this line and make the hole, put the garlic in. I'm also going to try and maximize my space a little bit more. Now your garlic should be about 6 inches apart between rows. I am going to make it a little bit smaller just because I don't have as much planting space, and I'm gonna go 4 by 4. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and try and get the next row in here too. And then once we put the camera up, Lucas and I are gonna tag team this, where we're gonna make our holes first and then pop the cloves in. Because 600 cloves of garlic is a lot. But here's just an example of how this is going to look. We have our holes, we have our garlic planted right at the soil line. We will cover them up after we get everything planted, just like that. For now, I'm gonna leave it popping out because I wanna be able to see what we're working with. And we're gonna go down each of these 12-foot rows. So I have about 7 rows already prepared. I think I might have enough room to go up to 10 rows if we need to. I think we'll need to, but I at least wanna try and get the prepared spaces in first before we go through the effort of getting out shovels and trying to make new rows. And if needed, I could probably extend downwards. We were trying to keep this area pretty square so that it wasn't like a weird shape, but I have a lot of garlic and we might have to do that, so we'll just make do. All right, Lukey, you ready to get to work? Mm-hmm. All right. So we have all 600 garlic cloves planted in the space behind me. I made it work. I probably planted some of them closer than is recommended, somewhere between like 2 to 3 inches apart. Some of them are 4 inches apart. What are you gonna do? Some of my cloves were really big, some of them were really small. So the ones that were really small, I planted a little bit closer. And overall, I am confident that I'm still gonna get a great garlic harvest in July of 2023. I am actually growing a couple different kinds of garlic variety. I have the music variety, which is probably the most that I have is music. I also have a white German, that's the second largest quantity I have. And then I have a very small quantity of the Amish rocambole, and the Persian star. The problem is when I had all of my garlic curing in my barn over there after we harvested it, some weeks had passed and it was still out there. A couple dogs were in there and they knocked over my garlic curing station, and so all of my garlic got mixed up and then I didn't really know what was what. The music is pretty easy to identify because they're really big cloves, but the rest of them looked very similar. So I have some like estimations on how many I have of each, but overall it doesn't really matter. We use garlic the same way no matter what variety it is. I'm still happy and glad we have what we have here. Now we wait. I'm going to work on getting the rest of the fencing put around here because we do have chickens and the chickens would absolutely love to come in here and scratch all this up. We have them locked away right now. Before I can let them back out to free range in the yard, this has to be closed off so they can't get in there. When the leaves start falling from all of these beautiful maple trees around me, I'm going to mulch this area with the fallen leaves. I did that last year in my garlic patch. It worked really good, kept everything nice and insulated and cozy. I'm going to do that again. Leaves are free mulch, so if you are ever trying to figure out how can I get mulch in my garden beds, use your leaves. Okay? Oh, you can use your leaves. It's free mulch. So that's what I like to do, and it's really good for the soil. So if you want to see more about how to grow garlic, I have several videos on my channel about harvesting garlic, harvesting the garlic scape. So those are some really cool and unique culinary additions that you can add to your meal plans in the about June time frame. You can also find them at farmers markets, but video all about garlic scapes, what they are and how and when to harvest those, and now planting the garlic, all kinds of garlic goodness. Please check all of that out. Leave a comment letting me know if you are growing garlic. Have you ever grown it before? Is this your first time? Are you a seasoned garlic gardener and you have some tips that you can share with the audience here? Please leave them down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Do something you love today. Talk to you next time. Bye.